Hello and welcome to Dinosaurs Before They Were Fuels, the dinosaur news show. This is our monumental 25th episode, so it's going to be a little different. Let's get to it. We're going to focus on one particular story today. A new study out of Oregon State University is challenging one of the fundamental premises of dinosaur evolution. John Rubin and Devin Quick say that birds did not come from dinosaurs.
So wait, birds and dinosaurs are not related? That's a doozy. It looks like you've been paleo-punked. Wouldn't you agree?
Who is that?
It's me, the narrator from episode 1. Do you remember? I used to come in, I used to ask you questions, you used to love it.
Can I continue with the show?
Of course you can. I think you can do it. Oh, congratulations on the 25th episode. Good job.
Well, thank you. Anyway, here's what Rubin and Quick's study says. Bird anatomy, particularly the legs, keep the lungs of birds from collapsing. Dinosaurs had different style legs that would not allow for lungs to function the way a bird's does. The different physiology of the animals suggests they are not related. Now, normally I just tell you the news and move on, but since this is the 25th episode, we did some investigating. Is the link between dinosaurs and birds dead? We called up some experts, namely Jack Horner, Peter Dodson, and Emma Schachner. Their responses were similar to each other. They respectfully disagree with the new OSU study. Let's hear what Jack Horner had to say.
Well, it's the people that are suggesting this are people who have tried to bring doubt to this before, and they do it. They always do it exactly the same way. They show some difference between dinosaurs and birds, and for anyone that knows anything about how we determine whether something is related or not, people know that you can't do it with differences. In other words, the difference between you and your sister, you can't look at the differences between you to determine that you're related. The only way you can tell whether two organisms are related is to look at the similarities. And these people don't look at similarities. They only look at differences. So there's no way they can tell who's related to who. And there's no way they can. You just can't use a difference between. You can't talk about the differences between bats and blue whales and say that they're not related to one another, because we know that they're. If we look at enough similarities, we know they're both mammals. So when we look at birds and dinosaurs, birds share more characteristics with dinosaurs than they do with any other group of animals. And so it is up to these people who say that dinosaurs and birds are not related to find another group of animals that has more characteristics in common with dinosaurs than birds do. And they haven't done that. So they haven't falsified the hypothesis. They've just done science wrong.
And here's what Professor Peter Dodson, Professor of Anatomy at the School of Veterinary Medicine and Professor of Earth and Environmental Science at the University of Pennsylvania, had to say.
John Rubin is an old friend of mine, and John plays a very important role, I think, in dinosaur paleontology, because he's not a dinosaur paleontologist. He's you might say he's a professional gadfly. He's a very good vertebrate physiologist, comparative physiologist. And John, in particular, has tried very hard to discredit the idea of a link between birds and dinosaurs. I don't think, in my personal opinion, is not productive to try to argue against a link between dinosaurs and birds. If you believe that the fossil record shows anything, then I think that you would, almost all paleontologists regard the fossil evidence in favor of the bird theropod link is spectacularly corroborated by the fossils. I think that people like John Rubin have done paleontology a great service by bringing up contrary evidence, because it makes us sharpen our evidence and more carefully evaluate and so on and so forth, and this is a good thing. But but personally, I think the time is now past where this seems like a productive way to go.
Emma Schachner is a graduate student and a scientific illustrator at the University of Pennsylvania. Her results support the hypothesis that theropod dinosaurs had an avian-style respiratory system. This is the opposite of what Quick and Rubin are arguing. By the way, these are just snippets of our full discussions with these experts. We have an expanded episode with complete interviews at finitecomedy.com. A big thank you to our experts Jack, Peter, and Emma for helping out. We really appreciate it. And that's it for this episode of Dinosaurs Before They Were Fuels. I'll see you in 2 weeks with plenty of dinosaur news. Thanks for watching.